We have more breaking news to share with you today, but this time I'm sure most of you have already heard about it, which is President Biden's Build Back Better plan finally passed in the House of Representatives on Friday. Now, this was a result after months long of this bill being held hostage by moderates in the Democratic caucus. Now, Nancy Pelosi was finally able to bring this bill to a vote in the House of Representatives, and it successfully passed. But never mind that, guys. But what is next on the timeline? Well, the bill is now being sent over to the Senate for its blessings, but apparently there might be a few roadblocks ahead of this bill passing in the Senate. Now, also, guys, some of you may have missed it, but we did have the first woman United States president in history. She became the first woman to be the president last week, and I have that story to share with you today. And lastly, hey, we have one state giving out $285 stimulus checks to more than 500,000 people. Now, be sure to stay until the end of this video to find out exactly who that is. But before we get started, guys, if you're interested in any of those topics, hey, be so kind and go ahead and hit that like button for us. It really helps out this channel. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. It really helps out, guys, and it's totally free. Now, let's go ahead and jump right back into this video. OSHA is now suspending enforcement of the COVID-19 vaccine mandate for businesses. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or better known as OSHA, is suspending enforcement of the Biden administration's COVID-19 vaccine mandate for large private businesses after a federal appeals court upheld a stay on it last week. Now, OSHA said in a statement that while it is confident in its power to protect workers amid the pandemic, it is suspending activities related to the vaccine mandate. Now, the court ordered that OSHA take no steps to implement or enforce the ETS, or the Emergency Temporary Standard, until further notice from the court. While OSHA remains confident in its authority to protect workers in emergencies, OSHA has suspended activities related to the implementation and the enforcement of the ETS pending future developments in this litigation. Now, you guys remember that the Biden administration rolled out this new rule on employees that if they had more than 100 employees, they needed to be either vaccinated or go through weekly testing. Well, earlier this month, the administration set January 4th deadline for qualifying private employees to start mandating that vaccine mandate. Well, the court said OSHA should take no steps to implement or enforce the mandate until further court order. So yes, guys, the vaccine mandate is actually stopping as of now as far as being enforced by private businesses from the Biden administration, which also aligns with the Florida's governor, which he signed those 4 bills the other day saying that companies cannot push this vaccine mandate on its employees. So I'm sure that Governor Ron DeSantis is pretty happy about the court preventing OSHA from pushing this vaccine mandate to its employers, requiring their employees to be vaccinated. In other news, Vice President Kamala Harris became the first woman with presidential power, or better known as the president. And she was able to be this for 85 minutes. So yes, guys, this is really some good news, especially for women, because for years it has never been known that anyone outside of a man could actually be the president. So seeing this come to fruition, this is really good to see that women are actually being able to take a lot of jobs that have been held up by men for so many years in the past. And then if you are one of those men out there that don't like to see women doing the same job as men, then hey, we don't care about you, right? But anyways, guys, hey, we've had the first woman become president, but it was only for 85 minutes. Now, reading this article, it says that the nation's first female, as well as the first Black and first South Asian Vice President, broke yet another barrier when she temporarily stepped into the acting role, which is Harris worked from her office in the West Wing while Biden was under anesthesia. Now, Biden, who turned 79 on Saturday, arrived Friday morning at Walter Reed Medical Center to undergo his first routine annual physical since taking office. Now, this is routine for a vice president to assume presidential powers while the president undergoes a medical procedure that requires anesthesia. And if you guys remember that the vice president, Dick Cheney, did so on multiple occasions when President George W. Bush was the president. Now, to officially transfer the presidential powers to Harris, Biden had to send a letter to the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, and to the Democratic Senator, Patrick Leahy of Vermont. So yeah, guys, like I said, this is some exciting news to see that a woman was able to become the first female president of the United States. Now, even though it was only for 85 minutes. Well, it is time for some stimulus update news. The House of Representatives attempted to have a vote on Biden's social spending bill on Thursday night, but they ended up having to postpone that vote because of one conservative by the name of Kevin McCarthy decided to hold up the vote by speaking on Capitol Hill, which that may not sound like a big deal, but after it was all said and done, McCarthy made it to the Guinness Book of Records because he broke a record on Capitol Hill. He spoke for more than 8.5 hours straight. Yes, guys, this was Thursday night, and the House had to postpone that vote until Friday morning, which is when the bill finally passed in the House.
The Build Back Better bill is passed.
Tonight, Democrats delighted, celebrating on the House floor after narrowly passing President Biden's more than $1.6 trillion social and climate spending bill, which includes hundreds of billions of dollars in climate investments, universal pre-K, and provisions to lower health care costs.
But now that the bill has passed, what are the next steps in the congressional saga? Well, it appears that there may be a few roadblocks ahead in the Senate in trying to get this bill passed. All right, guys, this article right here says that what's next for Biden's social spending bill, the Senate struggle. Okay, so Chuck Schumer wants the Senate to pass President Joe Biden's social spending plan before Christmas. Standing in the way is the chamber's long to-do list, its rules referee, and more likely than not, Senator Joe Manchin. Now, the House on Friday morning passed the $1.7 trillion social spending bill to expand the social safety net, sending it to the upper chamber after months of infighting. Now, in a statement, Chuck Schumer said that the Senate will consider this legislation as soon as the necessary technical and procedural work with the Senate parliamentarian has been completed. Now, while Democrats expect the Senate to bring this spending legislation to the floor shortly after returning from the Thanksgiving recess break, the chamber still needs to pass its annual defense policy bill. Now, Schumer began that process this week, but the Senate has yet to vote on its amendments to that piece of legislation. Now, they are saying that the timing of Biden's signature legislation will also depend on when the Senate parliamentarian will finish the so-called beard bath process, now under which she determines whether key components of the bill have direct budgetary effect and can therefore pass the Senate with a simple majority vote. Now, Democrats will begin presenting their arguments to the parliamentarian next week or this week, guys, according to the Democratic aide. Now, several provisions in the House bill are expected to change or get stripped entirely once it reaches the Senate floor. Now, House Democrats included a paid family leave provision despite Joe Manchin's opposition to including the policy in this package. And the bill's immigration reform sections still need to pass with the parliamentarian, who has axed the Democrats' attempts at including the immigration measures in the past. So right now, Senate Democrats are also divided over the House's inclusion of a provision that raises the cap on local and state tax deductions, known as the SALT tax, which primarily affects high-cost states such as New York, New Jersey, and California. That amounts to a significant tax break from high-income earners, which is drawing some eerie from progressives like Senator Bernie Sanders. So yeah, guys, those are some of the few hiccups that the Democrats are facing once this bill hits the Senate floor. Now, also, we found this article right here that talks about the spending bill now faces an uncertain path in the Senate. Now, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said in a statement that after the House passed this bill, the Senate will act as quickly as possible to get this bill to President Biden's desk and to deliver help for middle-class families. Now, Senate Democrats have no margin of error to approve of the legislation, and key lawmakers, most prominently moderate West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, have expressed concerns over elements of this plan as policy fights loom on the horizon. Now, Manchin told CNN on Thursday that he has not decided whether to support voting to proceed to this Build Back Better bill. That critical first vote to take up this measure in the Senate, any one Democratic defection would stall this effort in passing this bill. The answer of no, said Senator Joe Manchin when he was asked if he made his decision on whether to vote to proceed on this bill. He said, "I'm still looking at everything." The comments reflect that Manchin is still not on board with the legislation and signal the tough road ahead for the Democrats. Now, the West Virginia Democratic said that he wants to see the final numbers from the Congressional Budget Office and changes made to the bill. He said, "I just haven't seen the final numbers and the final bill. So when that final bill comes out, the CBO score comes out," which it already came out, by the way, he said that we'll go from there. Now, Manchin also reiterated that his concerns about the inflation that we are dealing with right now. He said that everyone's concern right now is that they should be concerned about inflation because it's real. Inflation is real, he said. So we got to make sure that we get through this the best way that we can and put no more burden on the American people. So yeah, guys, right now we are dealing with the Manchin changing his mind back and forth, or like this article right here by The Hill says, Manchin continues to keep yo-yoing. So yes, guys, he continues to keep changing his mind whether he is going to support this bill or whether he is not going to support this bill. And tell the American people in Congress what you want to see in this bill and what you want to have removed from this bill. So yes, certain senators in Congress right now are keeping in touch with Senator Joe Manchin. He said that includes answering questions that he may have, hearing concerns that Manchin may have as well. But Manchin has shifted throughout the week on whether he supports a Christmas timeline of passing this bill. Now, he initially told reporters that he had concerns before signaling a day later that he was okay with Schumer's plan to vote by the end of this year. He said that, "I'm not in charge of the timing of this bill. Whatever they want to do is fine with me." But Manchin has been clear that he doesn't yet support the climate and the spending bill. Manchin has taken issue with the language related to a tax credit for electric vehicles, though Democrats are continuing to try to figure out a way to address Manchin concerns to keep the language in the bill. Now, we heard from Senator Ron Wyden, and he said that, "I know some of my colleagues have questions about one issue or another, but we're going to talk to senators. I talk to Senator Manchin consistently," noting that the clean energy provisions had been carefully constructed. The Democrats are also still waiting to see if Manchin buys into a plan to combat methane emissions, after already killing a key plan that was aimed at incentivizing companies to shift over to a clean energy. Now, Senator Tom Carper said that they had drafted the new methane language with a lot of input from Senator Joe Manchin as well as a few other people. He said that, "My hope is that it will find favor." Now, Manchin is also still opposed to including a paid family leave in this bill, increasing the chances that it will ultimately be removed from the bill. And he's not yet willing to say that he will start the debate on the social spending and spending plan to bring the bill to the Senate floor. Schumer will need to totally unify his caucus. So yeah, guys, right now they're still dealing with the concerns and the opposition from Senator Joe Manchin as well as Senator Christine Sinema, which we have not heard anything from Christine Sinema is regarding what exactly she wants to see in this bill or what she does not want to see in this bill. She is pretty quiet, and she's already stated that she will not negotiate in front of reporters or in front of TV. She wants to keep it private amongst lawmakers in a private room and does not want to discuss it to the American people. So we still need to hear exactly what they want in order to pass this bill. But we did hear from President Joe Biden when he was asked what exactly he is willing to do as far as the opposition from Senator Joe Manchin and Christine Sinema. And he said that he is ready to sign whatever Manchin and Sinema decide on the social spending bill. So yeah, guys, it shows right here that what the president has responded in regards to the opposition from Manchin and Sinema, and it says that the president seems ready to take whatever the evenly split Senate produces and sign it into law. He said that I'm going to sign it, period. Biden told Nancy Cordes of CBS News when asked if he would still sign a bill without paid family and medical leave. So yeah, guys, it seems like President Biden is completely tired of dealing with this thing for the entire of his presidency so far. So he is ready to not fight with Sinema and Joe Manchin right now. He is just ready to figure out exactly what they want to do, as well as to get it into the bill and then sign whatever they bring to him. Whatever Manchin and Sinema is ready to sign and approve of, President Biden said he is ready to sign on the dotted line. He's ready to get this thing passed so that the American people can move on and the help for the middle class people can actually come to fruition. Tell me, guys, what do you think about all of this, guys? It has been a long road ahead, but we have finally got this bill passed in the House of Representatives, and now we are ready to get this bill passed in the Senate floor. But we are still waiting for Manchin and Sinema to figure out exactly what they want to do. But tell me, guys, what do you think down below in the description? I'm curious to think what you guys think about all of this information. And last but not least, guys, hey, we have one state that has started issuing out $285 stimulus checks. Right here, we have $285 stimulus checks coming to people in Maine. It says a surprise stimulus check worth $285 will go out to more than 500,000 workers in Maine before the new year. In this article, it talks about over 500,000 people in Maine will receive a stimulus check from the state government in the coming weeks. The announcement came from the Governor Janet Miles after a bipartisan bill allowing for a check worth $285 was passed earlier this month. Now, Governor Mills hopes the direct payments will help Maine families to some small degree during the holiday season and as we work to fully recover our economy. It says that there are two main requirements that relate to one's work history and their income. No action needs to be taken place to request a payment, as the Maine Revenue Service will determine eligibility. Now, in order to receive this check, a person must have worked throughout 2020 and have submitted a tax return. The governor has described the check as a hazard payment of sorts, which seems to help the hardworking men and women who kept our state running throughout the pandemic deserve our appreciation. Additionally, those who are listed as claimed on a tax return as a dependent are not eligible to receive a stimulus check. Now, eligibility is based on income and will be determined through one's tax return. Heads of households or single tax filers making $75,000 a year or less, or married couples who file jointly with an annual income of less than $150,000 will receive a stimulus check sometime during the next 6 weeks. Now, the first batch of checks was postmarked on November the 15th, and the state has sent it and will send 6 more batches over the coming weeks. The last checks are expected to arrive before December the 31st, and all distributions will be completed through the sending of paper checks to those eligible. It will not come with a direct deposit into your bank accounts. So yeah, guys, if you live in Maine or you know someone that lives in Maine and they worked anytime between 2020 and 2021, you might want to make sure that they are aware that they might be receiving $285 stimulus checks sometime real soon. But anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. Now, if you enjoyed this type of content and you want to see more, hey, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like this video, then go ahead and hit that like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.